Unmuzzled Chat. Well, is Rumble gonna, in fact, stream today? It's showing it's still uploading. I think we're good. Freaking crazy. Bear with us, folks. We'll be kicking this off shortly. Technology, right? It's only good when it works. There's something's out of my control here. All right, it looks as though we are successful. Let's not mess around today. Welcome to Unmuzzled Chat. I love you all. I'm so excited to dive into this documentary. It's been some time since I've watched it from none other than the Stu Peters Network. And it's been a huge blessing. It's opened a lot of people's eyes. It's been seen millions upon millions of times. So if in fact you haven't seen it, here's an opportunity, or you could simply click the link below. I believe all he asks on the stupeters.com is an email to watch these documentaries. It's only his latest release, Occupied, that he's seeking a membership, which does include a small fee to see that documentary. And I don't blame him. To recoup some of those funds that he invested in that and enable him to continuously build out more of this content is only a blessing. 100%. So I got some questions written out here, and I feel we should consider and ask ourselves. Let me cue up this screen as well. We'll pull it off for now. But why is information being censored? Period. Full stop. Why? Could it possibly be that the misinformation, disinformation they're speaking of, they themselves are fulfilling? Could they possibly be censoring truthful information? Well, we've proven a lot of this, but bear with me in some of these questions because it's all relevant to the very information we're going to go over this Died Suddenly documentary / film. Because this is, to this day, one of the most censored topics. Why? When there's real lives, real information, like why is that? Why are they trying so hard to keep this information from us? Yeah. Let's ask ourselves, is this not infringing on our freedom of speech? Or is this potentially proof of hidden agendas? Do we, in fact, value our freedom ourselves, like in general, personally? How do we consider ourselves free with any levels of censorship? Is this not proof they censor real information? Let's pull up the screen. So this is something I just experienced this morning. Did I pull up? You know what? I have it here. This was yesterday. Okay, we'll dive into this. This was through YouTube. Wonder what topic they removed. But before that, look at TikTok. I feel as though I epically failed this mother and her daughter. I tried 3 different renditions on editing. I took out any vax talk, any shot talk, and it's just a mother expressing a real life situation with her own daughter in this final rendition. And I failed them because now this account is potentially going to be banned due to, so this is the final rendition. Let's go ahead and play it. And this should hopefully ramp up the sense of urgency and why we're supporting these dang platforms that are clearly so tyrannical. So right here, tried 3 different edits for this young girl. And for you all, how are folks going to know how damning all the shots are if they control information like they are? Let's just make it clear. We got censored on TikTok. We've been censored on YouTube. And when it comes to, if I put a certain title on Facebook to this correlating to vaccine injury, that also will be taken down. Why are we allowing them to infringe on our free speech? This truly highlights the importance of sourcing our information. Please help us. Please. The only way we're going to change the paradigm and get to the bottom of what's ailing us is getting this information out. And we can shows other 100% save lives. So here's a clip. Why?
And this is my daughter Mia.
Ask yourself, what is leading to censorship right here? What? And I indicated in this, not giving up on this girl or you. TikTok has censored 2 so far. Ask yourself why. Could lose our account. Who then will try to get stories like this out? We need your support. We gravely need your support simply by clicking the follow and sharing. We're going against every algorithm. Why? Why are these algorithms built out? We need organic growth.
12. On the 21st of September last year, 2016,
we have the proof.
She had the first, the following morning she woke up and she couldn't walk on her legs. She couldn't weight bear, her legs were shaky, and she had burning in either side of her spine, all the way up her back. But she deteriorated by the afternoon, so we recalled the on-call doctor who said just go straight to A&E. We took her straight to A&E and they admitted her for a few days. We've done video diaries right from the first day all the way through up until now. And basically within days, about 10 days of Mia, she completely lost the use of her legs. A couple of weeks after, she lost the use of her body weight. So for the last 13 weeks now, she's only been able to blink and speak. She can't use any of her limbs. She's incontinent.
I'm so grateful for the opportunity to speak through Rumble and podcast apps on this topic. Unfortunately, the masses haven't migrated to these platforms. So let's take a second and try to consider as to how damning this censorship is, how tyrannical it is. There was nothing in there incriminating anything. Frick, we had to censor out everything that led to the cause of this little girl's injury. And it's still censored. We still can't get it out. And yet, truth tellers or individuals that want to support families or individuals like this and sound the alarm to other people's benefit are losing their accounts. The power of control and censorship and tyranny, that, my friends, they are the misinformationists. They are the disinformationists. They're controlling, they're playing God in this life and taking away our agency. Doesn't that just tell us everything? That's the devil himself. That's what he's here to do. I mean, right here, strike 1, 2, 3. Violation reasons, they couldn't even put misinformation. They put community guidelines. Community guidelines, you mean, and this is my appeal, you mean whatever you dictate. You clearly have an agenda and do not want us healthy. Play with words all you want. The world is waking up to your lies and deceit. That's the appeal. I have yet to get a single response out of, I don't even know, the dozens and dozens of posts that have been taken down. For frick's sakes, folks, we're on our 5th TikTok account. Our 5th. I wouldn't be on there if the masses weren't still on there. I can't wait till there's an announcement that Rumble finally has more activity in a singular day than YouTube. That'll be the day I shut down my YouTube account. But until that day, we're going to continue to try to push the envelope to the best of our ability and tell folks for full content, please come over to Rumble. We got more questions here. So once again, is this not proof that they censor real, truthful information? What was in this clip? that was community guidelines or misinformation. Doesn't this prove they are the misinformationists? Are these questions ramping up any sense of urgency to get on free speech platforms? If they aren't, please help us become more effective in the right energy, the right articulation of words to bring people in. Let's ask ourselves, what in fact is keeping the masses on such tyrannical platforms? We're supporting our own demise. Is it that a lot of us simply do not know what they do not want us to know, so we naturally don't see the harm? Or could it be we don't want to come to terms with the reality of what in fact is taking place? Like, we don't want to live in that world. Well, if you sit there and put your fingers in your ears and la 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 can't hear you, you're still living in that world. And it's not to any of our benefits. I hope we can find not just the courage, but how freeing and beneficial, or how frankly this is the only way to live and properly protect ourselves from evil and evildoers in this life. Can we all try to acknowledge how impactful these censorship tactics have become? It has 100% been manipulating us all to one degree or another. This episode cannot be blasted on TikTok or YouTube or Facebook. We take out certain clips, put certain titles, 100% it will be taken down. Why is that? This is having a great impact on the world we're living in. So let's not mess around and dive into the episode. But man, here on YouTube, I could actually dive into this one. So this actually got me another strike. We were on strike 3. So I thought this was going to lead to a permanent ban, but I guess over time, when you play nice, which led to no real interaction on YouTube, just more energy going into the free speech platforms and not pushing, we're pushing the envelope. But this very video, it's crazy. You could post videos like this prior to the pandemic. 100%. This data is out. This is from amazing Janet's hard work, the fall of the cabal, and this was just a little segment. What a gift. If you haven't checked this out, I'll have to include this in the description below. Fall. Okay, link. I'll add that in after this live. But what a gift all that information is. But let's go ahead and play this one. Why? Like, it's just proof. All the data regarding this, there's nothing misinformation about this, but they're labeling it as medical misinformation. Now, a lot of people aren't pushing the envelope. I'm not trying to expose this and come from a whiny place. I mean, anyone naturally that wants to forward these type of messages out and they face this level of tyranny and infringement on our speech would then more so acknowledge, like, wow, the threat it actually is. So I'm just trying to express from my own experience how this is leading to so much deterioration and manipulation to the world we're living in. So let's just consider this clip. Let's go ahead and play it.
It's about being nothing but guinea pigs for the pharmaceutical industry.
Lord knows what else future is. So, yeah, realistically,
Gates's actions were described as ruthless
and immoral. So this is an article. She's just describing an article that's been published. Facts show Gates vaccine push is ruthless and immoral. Basis for reducing global population. As he spoke out on, and we've played that, we'll never grow tired of it. him boldly stating, if we do a really good job through health services and vaccinations, we can lower the world population by 10 or 15%. This is pre-pandemic. All this information is out. But now, due to the censorship regimes that have spun off due to this whole misinformation campaign, vaccine, this has nothing to do with COVID, by the way. This has to do with all their other things, horrific things that they did out in Africa. Let's hear it out.
Once again, it was clear how the UN's NGOs and the WHO were all in it together. The meningitis vaccine project was a partnership between PATH and the WHO.
It's all documented.
It was funded with millions of dollars by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Facts.
Then, in 2009, the Gates Foundation used their NGO called PATH to test their HPV vaccine on 23,000 tribal girls in remote villages in India. The HPV vaccine was said to prevent girls from getting cervical cancer. 1,200 girls had severe and chronic side effects, such as fertility disorders and autoimmune problems.
Freaking criminals, man.
7 girls died.
What was misinformation about that?
About
what? It's whatever they dictate. That's just the damning nature. Under the guise of doing good, protecting people. What, in fact, are they doing? They're protecting evildoers and all the damage they're doing. Everything she spoke out in that little clip is 100% just facts. It's documented. We know. Well, they're trying to save their tails, among many other things, and continue their agendas. It just shows there's an intent. And they've talked about it. It's just crazy. Right here. Why do we never believe them? For centuries, the global elite have broadcast their intentions to depopulate the world, even to the point of carving them in stone, aka the Georgia Guidestones. And yet, we never seem to believe them. It's where my mind kind of is blown, and it takes a while. We live in a world, we get indoctrinated and educated to blindly entrust, spoon-fed all these narratives, to blindly entrust our government, our society, and infrastructure, and medicine, and all these things. There couldn't possibly be these evil doers. There couldn't possibly be this evil intent behind it. Well, as Christians, as believers, why are we not even taking Jesus's word for it? And when he speaks about the devil, there is a God of this world, a prince of this world. He's here to kill, deceive, destroy. He has lie, cheat, steal, all those things. Could it be possible that the devil has gained his throne in this mortal existence, and these are his minions right here described, and we're not even believing what they themselves are saying? I know it's scary to acknowledge and see all the suffering that's taking place, but isn't this the only way that we can properly protect ourselves, our loved ones, and hopefully end up doing our part and be excited? We could put a lens of beautiful excitement to doing our part. After all, freedom is not free. Let's do our part. Censorship is enabling fictional narratives to continue to our detriment. All right, so without further ado, let's dive into this documentary. I can't wait to see it again myself. I hope you enjoy. Not suitable for children. There's a disclaimer.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds. Along with that, there's also been an increase in certain medical diagnoses, such as miscarriages and Bell's palsy.
Well, when I first started seeing these strange anomalies in the blood, it's just there's something different about the blood. All of these people that were dying, doesn't matter what they died of, they were having this unique there's this unique change in the blood. I feel as though I am seeing something that could be causing their death. No one will see what I see. So in the very beginning, I'm thinking, okay, so COVID could have caused this possibly, but now I'm seeing these in people that supposedly never had COVID, and then you find out they were vaccinated. And so it's like, okay, so it's the vaccine might be causing this.
I wanted people to understand that we're in a fifth generation warfare.
100%.
They now seek the news openly to manipulate and deceive the American population.
Green screens. Wow.
Weapons of mass destruction.
But you don't believe in any conspiracy theory?
Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building that's collapsed?
So psyched to dive into all this.
Injecting them in little kids' arms.
An 18-year-old health worker has developed blood clots after
controversial piece of Bigfoot.
Just days after getting their second COVID-19 vaccine, 2 teenage boys died in their sleep.
Oh my God!
A 9-year-old went to sleep in Eagle Mountain and never woke up.
School cheerleader who died suddenly.
Who knows? Young people are dying these days.
You know, Matt and I are constantly talking about Malthusian theory.
Malthusian theory, I know.
I'm sure you are.
It says it on one of the coffee cups I was given. You know, when I was at junior college, Chabot Junior College, we finished a history course, and the professor wrote up, you need to learn this word. He wrote up the word triage, which represented, I was told, the concept that eventually the world will have too many people in it in order to subsist on its own. And that stuck with me for a long time, and that's what Inferno is about. The quantum physics of overpopulation. In an instant, there could be too many people on the planet Earth, and actually the math does add up.
Just give
Dance, puppets, dance. Can't you see how they're slowly feeding us all this destructive? Oh, yeah. False idolship. They got us. That was one that provoked a lot of feelings through a lot of films, and built up to be a good guy. Obviously, with Epstein, all the things, Mel Gibson, Isaac Cappy, calling these individuals out for very horrific things. I mean, they're hard pills to swallow, right? But we gotta be realistic with ourselves as to the world we, in fact, live in. Ignorance doesn't lead to anything good. Let's continue.
Give us a 20-second definition of Malthusian theory, which is amazing.
Well, that's what I'm built for.
I,
Puppet
Thomas Robert Malthus, have merely done you the service of stating the obvious, that the demographics of our situation equal death.
Reverend Thomas Robert Malthus was a British demographer of the late 1700s and was the first to popularize the idea that there's simply too many people using up too much resources.
How many cars, stereos, fancy bars?
How many people could the world support? Well, it depends. It's a sliding scale.
Malthusian ideology is often summarized in the following graph.
Very simple graphs which project what's going to happen to the planet over the next 150 years if we don't do something drastic to stop it.
It's an ideology, an eschatology.
Here we can see a chart that looks at the total world population over the last several hundred years. And at first glance, this is a bit scary.
And it spawned a new genre of fear that lasted for generations. The fear of overpopulation.
You have to get the death rate and birth rate in balance, and there's only two ways to do it. One is to bring the birth rate down, the other is to push the death rate up.
If we do not, by humane means, limit our numbers, then numbers are going to be limited by more famines and shortages.
It's reaching plague proportion.
No intelligent, patriotic American family ought to have more than 2 children, preferably 1.
Maybe anybody who's thinking of having a 3rd child ought to go hungry a week.
So should we have policies that penalize people for having extra kids in the developed world?
So I do think that we should at least consider it.
And this is where people start getting nervous talking about overpopulation and population issues because they're scared that I'm going to take away their rights to have children.
It's the belief in a coming apocalypse and that it is you and I who are ushering it in.
We're even running out of sand, which may not seem important, but without it, you can't make concrete or glass, like for windows, so you can look outside and see the world ending.
Now, the world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, health care, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
Well, common sense would tell you if you have a man standing in front of you saying he's going to reduce the world's population by 10 or 15% using vaccines, what does that mean to you?
Good question.
That means somebody's going to die because you put a vaccine in them. It doesn't mean you're going to save people. That's pretty much common sense in my brain. But yet I saw him say it. He said it. And here we are. I don't know. Here we are. I'm now an anti-vaxxer. I wasn't before. From what I've learned here with this and seeing what I've seen.
It's a great blessing.
Not just in the funeral home, but, what everybody else has had an opportunity to see. I don't want to take any vaccine because I don't trust the pharmaceutical industry. I mean, I just buried someone recently who died suddenly. Wasn't sick, person in their 60s, but otherwise was not sick. And I met with the family, and that was my first question, was what happened to him? Somebody...
Guys, I'm so sorry. This will be a really, really quick intermission. I just got breaking news. Instagram dropped our stream. Interesting. Talking about this tyrannical censorship. It's what's perpetuating the lie from being conceived as the truth versus the truth. All right, let's get back in.
Somebody mentioned to go onto Google and then type in "died suddenly" and find the news articles that pop up. And lo and behold, here's a whole listing of people, of articles, of people within that last week who died suddenly. Younger people.
So much.
Older people, but a lot of younger people around the world. Famous people. Athletes.
Wow.
Have just dropped dead without explanation. And it's like it's no big deal. It's like we just don't know. It happens. But no, it's not happened. It's never happened.
It was never a title. We never would just accept our loved ones with a non-descriptive death. Just, nope, died suddenly. It's a relatively new thing. And it goes completely in junction with what? They'll expose it.
Like this until now.
My phone goes over and trying to make sure I don't miss something.
Wow.
I'm hoping that we can get one of those important calls. See, this is both from carotid and veins. Look how thick that thing is.
Looks like the alien.
Very similar. It came out, apparently I've got some of that's from a carotid artery and also some veins. So
all these e-bombers coming forward in this film.
Back around November of last year, of 2021, people were asking me, well, how many people are having these strange clots? And I didn't have a very good answer for it. So starting in November, I started making notations of whether or not the person was clotted or not, or vaccinated. My green is people that have been verified are vaccinated. Yellow typically is somebody that has smaller clots, and the orange is somebody that had more significant clots, the clots that are really kind of concerning to me. I have it dated for the quarter, numbered by the quarter, so the entire quarter I had about 130. Yeah, only almost 14% had no significant clotting. A lot of the substances that I'm seeing are stuff that looks pretty much, it's this white fibrous stuff.
Wow.
Now, instead of calling them blood clots, I try to refer to them as white fibrous clots or white fibrous structures.
Jeez.
How come all of a sudden these things are happening in so many people?
Yeah.
When I first started seeing these strange clots,
started seeing them.
In the beginning, I thought, you know, this is kind of weird, it's kind of crazy, I don't understand. As I started gathering more and more photographs, I'm able to share it amongst other people that I work with. I talk to other embalmers that have 30, 40, even 50 years of experience.
I'm a licensed funeral director, National Board funeral director, and certified embalmer. I've been in the death care industry since 1982. I've been embalming, been in the embalming process with well over 1,000 bodies. And I had actually noticed some of the differentiations in the clots as well in some of the bodies I had been embalming, and that had started recently.
First time I saw it firsthand, pulled out of a deceased, my end, was about 3 months ago. Been struggling to embalm people for around about 18 months. My embalmer was complaining that he was having trouble getting fluid through people. And the way they do that is they cut into the carotid artery and they pump it around the body via a pump. He was struggling to get it through, and we kind of thought, well, maybe the pump wanted servicing, and had a look at it, it doesn't. Pulled this out, and he kind of grabbed the end with the tweezers, and this comes out in one piece, one elastic piece. It looks like calamari.
Longest one that I have on video is probably almost 3 foot long, which is incredible to come out of the, you know, the jugular up here. It's incredible.
Wow.
That is not normal.
Wow.
I talked to other embalmers that have 30, 40, even 50 years of experience. Said, hey, you know, have you guys ever seen this stuff before? And the answer was always,
I haven't seen clots like these. These long, white, fibrous, different, not blood clots, but they're clotting the blood, so therefore you have to call it a clot.
I have been in this profession actually for approximately 12 years and approximately 200 to 250 bodies per year, and I have never seen anything like this until the vaccination.
Now, I've been an embalmer for 41 years. 41 years I've been embalming, and I've never seen clots like these.
Here's a guy who messaged me the other day. He even sent me a picture. A fellow embalmer? This is not mine. This is his. Same stuff. You see that?
You know, we know something's going on. I deal with a lot of funeral directors and embalmers. I attend national conventions, state conventions. I'm very involved. And, you know, we know something different is going on. We don't know exactly what's going on, but the timing of it is just hand in hand. We're connecting dots here. And it certainly appears that there's some relationship to the vaccine and these obstructions that we're seeing.
I was in Ohio last week or the week before last, and there were 100 embalmers at the Ohio Embalmers Association in my lecture, and I posed these photos up where people could see them, and nearly all of the embalmers out of 100 in this room raised their hands that they had seen clots and white fibrin structures of that kind of size. And when I ask again, when did they start seeing them? Again, it's that 16 to 18 month period.
This is different. And they need to figure out what it is. That's the problem, is they need to figure out. That's why we're talking to you, is that we're concerned for humanity.
Once I knew what was happening, I'm a man of principle. Do you know, your family's just as important as mine. If I don't speak out, we're all anyway. As a Canadian,
folks, I gotta pull up. Okay, this. I recently saw this, and this is a newer finding, and this is why we need to vet every injection throughout the whole CDC schedule, childhood vaccine schedule, and all the particles, everything that's put in it. It's so crucial that we understand all the ingredients. This right here is a visual, and it's crazy because as I'm seeing the clots yet again, it's very interesting to me as to how this literally mimics, okay, aluminum and what is this, mercury. And when you combine the two, it visually looks a lot like these fibrous substances. Could this potentially be what's leading to these mega clots? And a lot of these substances are included in that vaccine schedule. Wait till it zooms in and you actually can see this closer up. It eerily mimics, oh my gosh, mimics what is happening within our bodies, it seems. These strands, kind of fibrous. Look at that. Doesn't that look? So anyway, it's just important that we use our God-given brains. We look into what, in fact, is causing, what is the root of these issues? So we can breathe health back into us. I just found that very, very powerful clip there. Who knows? But we'll minimize that and continue.
Embalmer. I have found that everybody I embalmed for over a year had fibrous mass clots. The fiber mass clots had been fed by blood clots at the ends that were integrated into the fiber mass clots. The fiber mass clots themselves were not blood clots. On average, I would embalm a body every day or two. Every single body had them, and they were massive.
When I was talking to Dr. Ken Thorpe, he was more concerned about the real tiny clots that he called microclots. And when I asked him about microclots, I was like, let me explain. Sometimes when
Can I try something, folks? I'm actually going to pull up my StreamYard. Oh yeah, it's going to be doing the whole echo. Okay, where it's just endless. Look at this. So I started a new stream on Instagram, and it's still seemingly active now, but I had to completely shut down the old one, and now look what dropped out. Facebook dropped out. So in the beginning, we showed that how heavily censored this particular topic is. And this is not just testimonies. That was a mother and a daughter situation that was censored on TikTok. And then YouTube, and it's all vaccine related, was touching on the experiments through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation in Africa prior to COVID. So it's a heavily censored topic nonetheless. Now here we are on this stream. This should really ramp up the sense of urgency, folks, on this particular topic. Why are they fighting tooth and nail to make this accessible? So now it's TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. What is up with that? You know, I could probably even pull up, just bear with me, and we'll dive right back into the documentary. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be interrupting. It's just, oh my gosh, yes, here it is. On the actual advertising of this very episode, boom, they removed our video. What's going on? The dangers of controlling information and these narratives. This is not just going over from parents. This is actually from the embalmer side right now and what they're seeing. And this is new. This isn't something that they had ever seen before. So there's just so much evidence and things coming out. Obviously, this will hurt their bottom line. This could hurt the power control infrastructure they're building out. It can hurt their agenda. It could potentially put them behind bars. Of course, they're going to fight tooth and nail to ensure an indoctrinated state for us versus the truth They don't want us freaking healthy. Once again, to that Bill Gates clip. Why are we having such a hard time absorbing the reality we're living in and what they've said themselves? It's become so polarized that it's a challenging one to even have this discussion with loved ones and family members due to just all the propaganda. Anyway, let's continue.
I'm seeing the blood. It looks like the blood is dirty.
Crazy.
Almost like it has little fine grains of sand, or almost like fine grains of coffee grounds.
All that censorship, folks, to get this information out, doesn't that ramp up the sense of urgency that we need this organic growth? We must share this. Please support what we're trying to accomplish to the benefit of us, our families, our children, our loved ones, and secure our health, secure our freedom of speech, and everything. We inevitably, once they start infringing on our speech, the tyranny doesn't end there. It's going to continue all the way down the line to where we're just more so under the illusion as though we're free. And yes, we still are blessed in this time. We have a lot of freedoms, but it is an illusion of freedom if we feel we're entirely free when we're not, when there's infringement on our freedom of speech, and we're not a free people with any level of censorship. If in fact we're doing something harmful, like genuinely, we should be allowed to question things. We should be allowed to go through this information. But if I'm directly threatening someone's life or something, then yes, there should be legal action against individuals that are imposing real harm. But the fact we can't even question, this is perpetuating the lie and not allowing the truth to flourish to where we can hold our oppressors accountable or nip this in the bud to breathe health back in. It's crucial. So let's please share this to the best of our ability. If this is new news and you haven't jumped into this, dove into this documentary prior to this, it is powerful to get people's input and share. Please help us get it out. If not, through Unmuzzled Chat and my disruptions, please share the documentary. Go to this, click the link below, stewpeters.com, and share it directly with everyone you know. So crucial.
The reason why he's more concerned about those is because they will go undetected and they can get lodged up in capillaries and end up slowly starving organs of the oxygen that it needs. So what I did is I captured some blood that looked dirty. It's clouding it up, but see, I wanted you to see the specks that are floating around. Here we go.
It looks like rust.
It does.
Let's kick off the Facebook Live again. See if
look at it, like,
it gets
see, you
taken
can
down.
almost see that they're like stringy looking.
The first time I seen something that what I would describe as a different type of blood than I had ever seen, consistency of blood, was on a younger lady that was in a car accident. And I noticed onto the table as we were getting a little bit of drainage from her that her blood looked as if it was, the only way to describe it is blood on beach sand. It was sticking to the table.
I began noticing strange things with the blood, looking like it had coffee grinds or sand in it, to complete separation, like a clear orangish fluid, and then clots coming later, like the blood had almost separated. And of course, then there are the fibrin structures that we get, and it doesn't matter if it's a young or old person.
You know, it's noteworthy when you see individuals coming forward and they're sharing their personal testimonies, their lives, and their engagement on these things, but yet they're not comfortable showing their face and blurred out. It's noteworthy for us to consider, why is that? Do we seriously live in a world that just coming out and speaking, is that how bad it's gotten, how tyrannical, how evil has infiltrated things to where we don't even want to tie personal association, because yes, people that have created big movements have been destroyed over this. Not just business-wise, their personal lives, but their actual lives.
I'd like you to kind of feel
Yeah.
You can kind of hold
It's
on
like
to
a rubber band almost.
Yeah,
How can
like a
someone
rubber band
live
or like calamari.
with
So
that
of
in
course
their
that
arteries?
explains people stroking out. Like,
Yeah.
And that was my concern in the very beginning of all this. The whole thing was, as I'm seeing all of these strange clots, I'm hearing stories of blood clots and embolisms and sudden heart attacks.
Scientists say there has been an increased rise, a sharp rise in unexplained deaths during the pandemic, deaths that are not listed as COVID related.
Doctors that are being censored.
I would just like to find answers, because so many people, young people, are just dropping dead. There were 2 in the local paper today out of Lafayette, Indiana, and I question, how did they die?
Autopsies are not being done and performed as often and as frequent as it had been done in the past. There's no way that that type of obstruction would not cause stroke, heart failure, some type of pulmonary embolism that would certainly take someone out.
Now, most of the people are not autopsied. Therefore, no one will see what I see.
And that's why what we see back there, people need to know.
That's actually a problem, that we're more so leaning to cremation nowadays. We're destroying mountains of evidence that we could accumulate and get that would lead to what in fact is causing this. We would gather enough data that it would be, and it already is indisputable as to what is leading to this.
Nobody will know unless we tell them.
Right.
What we're seeing, because it happens, and then you have a visitation and a burial, and it's over.
I feel as though I am seeing something that could be causing their death. And the dead can't speak for themselves, so therefore, the only way to bring this forward is like, I have to speak for them.
Grateful. So many are stepping
Since
forward.
the vaccine, this rubbery stuff, this stuff here is absolutely, no, hold on, I don't know who this is. Hello? Yes. Okay. I'll be there as soon as I can. I'll be there as soon as I can. I'll give you a call shortly. All right. Bye. Okay. Well, it looks like I got to go to work. So maybe you guys can come with me and we can talk along the way.
That they would let us shoot.
I've been trying to warm people up to the idea of doing it. So maybe we just go ahead and try to go up there, and I'll give them a call as we're on our way and see what they say.
That would be a difficult thing. Yeah, because we want all these moments with our loved ones in this time when they're no longer with us. But wow, what a blessing here.
Good morning. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Teresa Long, and I have been invited here today to testify to the truth before the legislators of Idaho. The information I'm presenting is made as a protected communication under Title 10 USC 1034 as a whistleblower. My opinions are my own and do not reflect that of the United States Army, the DoD, or any entity thereof.
Insurance companies figured that if there was something catastrophic that happened to the United States, they would see a 10% increase in all-cause morbidity and mortality. 10% for just like an unprecedented, catastrophic,
can't even fathom,
natural event or something that happened in the United States.
U.S. life insurance companies have reported an overwhelming and unexplainable increase in all-cause deaths among 18 to 49-year-olds.
Wow.
40%.
40
is no one's even
40.
No one's even calculated that. I mean, that's never been factored into what things would look like. It's apocalyptic.
In my 15 years as a doctor taking care of soldiers, I have never seen this litany of debilitating and potentially deadly medical conditions in soldiers. These conditions included strokes, transient ischemic attacks, pericarditis, myocarditis, erratic heart rates, arrhythmias, rapid onset and progression of various cancers to include testicular cancer, esophageal cancer, brain tumors, neuroendocrine tumors, spinal tumors, thyroid dysfunction, multiple sclerosis, cognitive impairment, persistent severe insomnia, suppression of the immune system, unprovoked blood clots in the splenic and portal vein, avascular necrosis, liver dysfunction, menstrual irregularities, and miscarriages.
Well, I think if you look at the 5.3.6 post-marketing analysis report, the 1,291 adverse events, I don't think those came as diagnostic tests. I think they came as confirmatory tests. You ordered a product, you wanted the product to kill people. Hey, stockholders, we got exactly what you ordered.
Fourth shot, Borla, the CEO of Pfizer. Good for CVS, good for Walmart, good for your health.
When I reached out to Army Public Health Command and numerous senior medical and operational leaders about my safety concerns, I was ignored. Threats against my career were made, but no appropriate actions were taken to fully investigate the number and scope of adverse medical events after COVID vaccines.
Are we hearing this?
What I was here today to speak about truly was the weaponization of public health.
Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm also a whistleblower. That's my... That person right there called me one day. I called her, I can't remember, it was an email. And she said, have you seen the DMED system? Have you seen what it's up? And I'm like, I'm working on the border. I'm trying to stop 12,000 people from coming across this border a week. And she said, well, take a look at it.
Seeing the DMED data, I have significant concerns that we won't have a standing army.
Wow.
In 5 years.
Case 1-01, United States Air Force A-10 instructor pilot, mid-30-year-old male, hospitalized 12 hours after vaccination. Diagnosed with pericarditis and anaphylaxis, removed from flight status for 6 months, thus negatively impacting unit mission readiness. I have never felt so abandoned by the military. I have been forced to take something that brought me close to my death. I was mocked, discredited, unsupported. Our squadron morale was ripped to shreds. All these things were completely unnecessary. We are truly less ready on multiple levels.
I had to talk to a wife of a soldier that had a stroke, which required speech rehab for several months, and talk to her while he was in the ICU and say to her, he's going to be okay and he'll be able to serve again because this is what he loved to do.
Back in September 2021, I submitted an affidavit in the Robert V. Austin case in which I outlined how the DoD was violating its own risk management process in their push to mandate the vaccine of every member of the armed forces with an experimental vaccine. After my testimony was made public, the DoD made no effort to investigate my safety concerns.
Guys, check this out, okay? And once again, I don't mean to disrupt, but I'm so on fire for what these men are doing. The forgotten soldiers are calling it, because they've been also censored and suppressed, and it's not getting mainstream. What John and Scott are doing is entirely selfless. They're not monetized. That's why you can't see view counts on their videos. They're just selflessly reaching out to other service members of all branches of service, men that are and women that have been willing to die on behalf of our freedoms. And they stood against this tyranny. Not all of them. Some of them got coerced because they were deployed and there was such threat on their lives that they rolled up their sleeves and got this. But so many of them got booted due to their stance. They weeded out the most morally upright individuals, and how devastating that has even been to our armed forces. It's more than we can actually fathom. But they're selflessly bringing in countless individuals. They're talking about their personal stories. We got Lance Corporal that, and other individuals that have come on this podcast even, and theirs, that are still being held in solitary confinement. They're trying to military persecute them due to their stance. It's unbelievable, the tyranny. But there's countless stories, not just captured in this documentary. If you haven't followed the Forgotten Soldiers on Rumble, please consider doing that today. It's simple. It's free. If you don't have an account on Rumble, it's free. You got to create a YouTube account as well to actively use, give a thumbs up, things of that nature. It helps limit bots and rule out bots from just blowing people's content channels up with just spam. And anyway, so there's just so many lovely individuals. I mean, we don't want this to be the truth. We truly don't want this to be the world we're living in. That's in fact why we're so on fire, to help expose it so we all can come to terms with the reality of the world we live in, and then combat that to the betterment of our health, our freedom, everything. It encompasses everything. Why are seemingly individuals fighting so hard to suppress this information? Happen on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube, all even based on content revolving around this very episode. That tells us so much right there. I hope we can absorb that and the great opportunities we have in this moment to just share, to just lovingly have the conversations and challenge ourselves, especially as Christians. Jesus said his followers are going to face persecution. Well, if we're living comfortable lives, we're not being persecuted, then doesn't that mean we're more so projecting our faith than living it? We're to face persecution. We're to stand for truth. We're to stand for the attacks evil is amassing against God's children. Let's do this. Let's be excited to feel the purpose as to why we were put in this time. You're all warriors. You're all stronger than you all know. And the impacts you could have are far greater than we could even know. So I just hope we fulfill it to our fullest while we're here. I'm so grateful for the opportunities we have. This is an enlightening moment, not a discouraging one. So don't let this discourage you. You got this.
I got contacted by attorney Tom Renz over the weekend, who represents some whistleblowers within the Department of Defense.
I have declarations from all three. The state is under penalty. This is under penalty of perjury. We intend to submit this to the courts. We have substantial data showing that we saw, for example, miscarriages increased by 300% over the 5-year average, almost. We saw almost 300% increase in cancer over the 5-year average. Cancer is not being talked about except for by Dr. Ryan Cole. Thank you, doctor.
I was the first pathologist in the world to say, guys, we're seeing an uptick in cancers. That's toxic spike protein has so many mechanisms that allow cancers to wake up, and certain cancer genes that it binds to and promotes mechanisms. Everywhere I go, radiologists, interventional radiologists, oncologists, cancer surgeons like I met today, cancer, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 40-year-olds, reactivated or second shot, third shot, month later, breast cancer stage 4 everywhere.
Wow.
We saw This one's amazing. Neurological. So neurological issues which would affect our pilots. Over 1,000% increase. 1,000.
10 times. That's 10 times the rate, and obviously that
83,000, 82,000 per year to 863,000 in 1 year.
That alone is entirely criminal. And yet, this is still being pushed. This is still manipulated information. There's no, are you kidding me? They've built out things, and it seems that there's no legit path to proper accountability and tearing down, but there is. We, the people, through unity, through proper momentum, let's stop disagreeing and bucking heads over that. We can agree to disagree on the things we just can't agree on, right? But when it comes to this, neurological issues, this leads us on a path of not being able to function and even have our grievances addressed.
Our soldiers are being experimented on, injured, and sometimes possibly killed.
Senator Johnson looked in the camera and said,
The Department of Defense, the Biden administration is on notice. They must preserve these records, and this must be investigated.
And within 24 hours, that system that is run by the Defense Health Agency was shut down.
Wow.
This is the bottom line up front. This is the weaponization of our healthcare system. These are done in acts by legislators. These all started a long time ago. Some could say in biblical times with good and evil.
If we think that there are not nefarious actors in the world and people that work for principalities and dark places, if we think that, we're fooling ourselves, right? Because that's where we're at.
1974, Henry Kissinger put out a paper that said we need to decrease the world population. And that's when the globalists kicked in.
We've got to stabilize the population. When I was born, there was
what's wrong with the population? I mean,
with too many people. That's why we have global warming. We have global warming because too many people are using too much stuff.
Wow.
Our book, Limits to Growth, was the first concrete effort using a computer to look at trends that unfold over decades, even a century. We were trying to understand long-term physical demands on the planet. And in the 70s, we were thinking that probably in the period 2010 to 2030 was when the planet would start to encounter limits.
Here is what Dr. Meadows' computer shows. Since the year 1900, the Earth's resources, there at the top of the chart, have been steadily used up as population, food consumption, and production of goods have soared. Ahead of us, sometime after the year 2000, this computer study foresees calamity. Resources drop more steeply, and food and production follow suit. Population continues to expand for perhaps one more generation, then collapses calamitously as deprivation takes hold.
Charts, all these graphs, no hidden agendas here. Just take it, spoon fed. That's where please don't even take this information, this well put together film and documentary, or the words I'm able to conjure up. Like, it's crucial that we come to our conclusions, but we need to acknowledge the bias, the extreme bias of these controlled platforms, the tyranny. We got examples, we got proof of a mother just explaining a situation with the daughter where we even cut out the actual cause, and it's still censored data. Like, it just comes to mind, the detransitioner, right? This young woman that talks about her personal story as to at age 14 got put on Lupron, testosterone. Before 15, 16, she had her breast surgically removed. And at 17, she's speaking out like how this facts ruined her body. She can no longer be a mother. It denied her and ruined her body to where she can't even have children. Now, I believe in miracles, right? And God could restore things if it's his will. But the fact remains it was very destructive to her body. Well, censored. It proves there's nothing loving about these agendas, these manipulated graphs. There's evil intent behind it all. And we've been spoon-fed it because now anyone that's not going along with their agenda is demonized, is censored. And that's allowing a lot of people to just believe their eyes, believe, oh yeah, look at how well this is built out, well funded, right? It's all to our detriment. We must more vastly understand the importance of sourcing information. And the only way we could truly get to the bottom of what is in our best interest, what is going to lead to more health, is for like gathering information on a free speech platform. We can't obtain it. We will be manipulated. There will be manipulated data if we solely gain this from Google, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all these tyrannical platforms. Now, it's not to say there's not still good information on there. There undoubtedly is. But to this very episode, we can't advertise on any of those. We're hitting walls. So it really does say it all.
Now, 11 billion people is still a lot,
freaking
but
demon.
the good news is that the faster we improve health, the faster family size goes down.
The World Economic Forum.
That doesn't make sense.
You have Klaus Schwab and George Soros and Bill Gates. They talk about depopulation. They talk about all of these kind of utopic ideas that they have.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals are 17 targets we must meet by 2030 to ensure decent lives for all on a healthy planet. Right now, it's expected we will fail. One reason for that is the growth in our global population.
We have a golden opportunity to seize.
They are concerned that the world is growing above what they can control, and it threatens their control. They want to achieve a manageable level that doesn't threaten their evil agendas and control. That's what it is, and it's so clear.
Something good from this crisis.
COVID-19 also helped legitimize instruments of control.
Evil man.
It's a deep,
evil man.
Systemic and structural restructuring of our world.
Therefore, we have a unique but rapidly shrinking window of opportunity to learn lessons and reset ourselves on a more sustainable path.
This pandemic has provided an opportunity for a reset. This is our chance to accelerate our pre-pandemic efforts to reimagine economic systems that actually address global challenges like extreme poverty, inequality, and climate change.
They're the ones causing all of that.
The future is not just happening. The future is built by us.
Yes, it is.
Those people
I don't
definitely
know why we're allowing
have had
that.
tremendous influence and sway in this whole thing. And that is why they seemingly know how to hold these events and almost perfectly predict what's going to happen.
Right.
The Event 201 scenario is fictional, but it's based on public health principles, epidemiologic modeling, and assessment of past outbreaks.
An outbreak that circles the globe and affects people everywhere.
In other words, we've created a pandemic that could realistically occur.
I know we would all agree that if we had a vaccine in hand for CAPS, it'd be a game changer.
A majority of Americans expect a vaccine to be available within 2 months, and 65% of those polled are eager to take the vaccine, even if it's experimental.
Vaccinate, vaccinate, make an appointment. Vaccinate, vaccinate, make an appointment. I got the vaccine up inside my life. Got that vaccine up inside my life.
Oh my God.
Will we get our dose? Just please hurry.
I got nothing.
And
Disgusting.
come on, vaccine. Trust in your healthcare. Shot, 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 shot. Staying alive, staying alive.
Time for us to trust and not debate. The vaccine, believe it's safe to take. And we will shoot 500 vials.
You know what's crazy? This circus right here was very effective. When they ramp up the fear, they demoralize the people, and they control it to this extent with the big money going into it. So much of us fell for it. And it's okay. I'm not here to cast stones, right? But what a blessing it is to see past all of it and be like, never again. or that's a silver lining. And it actually, when you dive deep enough, it is coming from the synagogue of Satan. It actually plays out biblically. And it just like, wow, we got complacent. We took God out of things. It brings it. All roads lead to God. And I see more people on fire to know Jesus. And I'm just so grateful. I'm sorry I've been a bad representative. I've even drugged Jesus' name through the mud, and I apologize. But I've been humbled, and I hope futuristically I can more so walk in that path of faith, more so than project, which can turn people off to Christianity and seeking that relationship personally for themselves. And I apologize. And I hope I can be a better representative in the way he's shown up in my personal life. But man, what a freaking campaign. What a circus.
We will stick 500 more. Have a good time when you're the vaccine. Stick it in me.
Disgusting.
And because you are in a war, because this is a 5th generation warfare for your hearts and your minds, it's done mostly by digits, right? Wow. Through the computer and those kind of things. But it's also done with adjunct weaponry. And this adjunct weaponry in this case is a COVID jab.
They don't want you to know that your body is now their property and playground. And they will do with you what they feel like doing to you. And they will destroy your life if you don't take a lethal needle in your arm.
Wow.
And it's the new bullet, it's the new missile, it's the new form of warfare. You don't need to fire a bullet and win a war.
Well said.
I wanted people to understand that we're in a 5th generation warfare. 5th generation is for the heart and the mind.
The United States government has been engaged in psychological operations on its own citizens for over 60 years.
So good.
MK Ultra and Operation Mockingbird are just 2 of the declassified programs designed to manipulate the minds of Americans and the world.
Wow.
The majority of these operations occur in plain sight, with the purpose of gaslighting and undermining those who seek the truth and pose a threat to the agenda of the global elite.
It's happened on this very episode.
Just kidding, you conspiracy theorists. The government would never lie to you.
Read my lips.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Wow. We're not even believing our own eyes.
Because we got a call regarding you coming over here multiple times, and it seems like they don't want to talk to you.
Well, now it seems that way because she called the police on me.
Okay.
You should always be suspicious if the people in charge of safety don't want to see the safety data. That should be a red flag. Yes. I couldn't understand why people aren't looking at this data. Even the clinical trial for the Pfizer vaccine showed that the vaccine killed more people than the placebo group. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
So, what's your name?
My name is Steve Kirsch.
Steve Kirsch?
Yes.
Okay. Where do you work? What do you work for?
I'm a journalist for Substack.
Substack?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have about close to 1 million followers on Substack.
So I've been called an anti-vaxxer, I've been called a misinformation spreader. MIT has labeled me a misinformation super spreader. And in fact, if you go Google, you type in misinformation super spreader, I'm the top hit in the entire world.
Unbelievable.
Why am I labeled a misinformation super spreader?
Yeah.
I have no history at all of being a conspiracy theorist. How do I go from being, hey, you should get vaccinated, waving the flag, I love Tony Fauci, to saying, oh, wow, we've been lied to? How did that happen?
How does it happen? Yeah. Great question.
I was vaccinated in March of 2021. My wife was vaccinated, and all my kids were vaccinated. So you couldn't call me an anti-vaxxer. I've always gotten all these vaccines that the government has recommended. I've always trusted the government. And then I started hearing stories from my friends. So one person said that she asked me if the vaccines were safe, and I said, of course they're safe. And I said, why are you asking me this question? I mean, like, have you not turned on the news? Like, where have you been? She said, well, 3 of my relatives were vaccinated and they died a week later, and they were all perfectly healthy before they got the vaccine. And I said, well, that's impossible. That must be wrong. And then Denial. She replied, yeah, but they're dead.
Right.
Is it really safe, and is it really effective?
What a snake.
These vaccines are safe. They are incredibly effective.
Vaccines are safe.
Can you back that up?
Getting
with
a booster
anything
different from your original vaccination is likely safe and effective.
But if there's one message that needs to cut through all this, the vaccines are safe. I promise you, they are safe and effective.
Researchers have confirmed.
They're promising us, but yet they have entire immunity. There's no recourse for any of the hundreds of thousands of ones that are suffering and the countless dead. It's actually millions that are suffering, and arguably millions that have died. And they're covering all this up. Now died suddenly that never existed before is one of the leading causes of death worldwide. What? Never was before. Insurance companies reporting a 40% increase on mortality and deaths. What was it? Between the age of 18 and 48 or something? What? This is the danger of control and censorship. We're not getting this information fast enough. And if enough time goes by, let's be honest with ourselves. Our attention spans are horrific these days. We're not going to be able to connect as to what led to all of this, or even acknowledge what in fact is taking place. It's just crazy.
That the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID vaccine is safe and effective.
This is what you don't see. This.
Surprisingly, most people don't want to know what's in the vaccines. In fact, nobody wants to know what's in the vaccines because nobody in Congress is asking to analyze the vials. Nobody in the mainstream media has ever asked what's in the vials. And the public doesn't want to know either because the public's not asking what's in these vaccines. If people understood what was in the vaccine, they'd go apeshit.
The first one is a typical package insert that we see with any vaccine. When you open the box, next to the vial, you find a package insert that has information about what the product contains. And this is a typical vaccine insert from a vaccine that helps protect against meningitis. It's a more traditional childhood vaccine. And
look at all that data.
Other label that I'm going to show you, the other package insert, came from a box of mRNA product. So vaccine that was brought to the clinic for the purpose of giving that to children. And this should look the same as the other package insert that I showed you.
Do I need to pull up the Nuremberg Code? How is this not a war crime? There's to be informed consent. They cannot experiment on we the people and withhold the data and have full immunity. All these things. They can't even claim what they claimed. And now it's amazing to see, what was it, Kentucky kick off, what was it, a full-fledged like criminal investigation against the false advertising. I mean, it's not swinging for the fence, but it's legal action that they could pursue against these pharmaceuticals. And once they break ground on that and it becomes hopefully more viral and accessible information for us all, then we could not allow our government to grant immunity, and we could go for our government clean house. This could be such a great blessing moving forward. But what is it, nearing 5 years after all of this, and yet so many just, I don't want to hear it and move past it. I just want to live my life. I want to be ignorant to everything. It's their choice. I'm not here to force feed anything or twist arm. That's what they do. But what a great opportunity we have. Like this is such a great film, and we'll probably continue to reflect back on this, hopefully till we build the right momentum. And it might not be through the vaccine. That's why we're going through so much other information. If you're new to this channel, we would love your support. We're going against every algorithm there is. We need your support. We need more growth to help save lives. And there's so many other topics and testimonies and individuals we're having on that has helped exposing just all this. Frankly, it's just evil in this world. That's what it is. And it's leading to suffering. And it breaks my heart, but it's kind of led on a path that's just been very blessed and exciting to just do what I can, but yet be realistic with myself. But I know you all can have a far greater impact than we can even know.
But yet when we open it almost 2 years into this, we find that it still says intentionally blamed.
Intentionally.
And they're allowed to, under emergency authorization, put anything in them they want. And the FDA isn't inspecting any of these facilities.
Wow.
The European Medicine Agency allowed the purity to go from 100% requirement down to 50%. And then all of a sudden in the middle of the shot rollouts, you hear, okay, we don't have to worry about this cold chain. So now you've got degrading products, which probably benefited some people in the sense that they broke down so fast that they got basically some mushy fat and sludge and dodged the bullet. But the ones who got the proper dose at the proper temperature are probably the ones that got harmed the most. How much do they care? They're making billions.
The mRNA was the technology that we had less experience, only 2 years working on this. And actually, mRNA was a technology that never delivered a single product until that day.
What?
Not vaccine, not any other medicine. So it was very counterintuitive, and I was surprised when they suggested to me that this is the way to go.
Steve Kirst, by the way, has a great offer out there for your listeners. I don't know if you know about this.
No.
His offer is anybody from any major academic medical center or any government agency who will come to the table and have a fair discussion on vaccine safety and efficacy, he'll pay him $2 million.
Anybody? I offered $1 million, not to win the debate, just to come to the table. $1 million. And when they refused the $1 million,
wow,
I said, okay, name your price. Is $5 million? $10 million? $100 million? What will it take for us to have a civil discussion on the record? On recorded.
Yes.
Where we can go through the evidence in the VERIS system and
so
other
huge
pieces of data so that we can have an open discussion about this. So the VERIS is a voluntary reporting system. And it was created this way because the drug companies negotiated with the government to say, the government said, we will give you liability protection for your vaccines. But the quid pro quo is that we're going to establish this vaccine adverse event reporting system, which of course they could have done anyway. We have a VERIS system in the United States. The system in Israel was even worse. In March, these researchers came to the Israeli Ministry of Health and said, hey, we got a problem here. Basically, they're told that the vaccines are killing and hurting people, and you're withholding that information from the Israeli people.
So the latest Israeli vaccination studies.
By the way, who injects like that? How his fingers are pinched right there. Who injects? What's he covering up? Unbelievable! Come on, no one. You're actually putting potential germs next to a needle going in an arm. This doesn't even make sense. That doesn't even compute. Okay, I apologize. I just kind of caught that registered in my brain a little late there. I apologize.
The Israeli Ministry of Health and said, hey, we got a problem here. Basically, they're told that the vaccines are killing and hurting people, and you're withholding that information from the Israeli people.
So the latest Israeli vaccination studies are out, and Steve Kirsch says the results prove that the government was lying all along about the frequency of adverse events from COVID shots. Shocker.
I sent an email to over 200, close to 300 people at the CDC asking if any of them wanted to see the data.
Okay.
Almost 300 people. Not a single person wanted to see the data at the CDC.
Says it all.
Stu, I have the personal cell phone for Grace Lee, who is the chair of the ACIP committee, which is the outside committee of the CDC. I asked if she wanted to see the data. She ignored me.
Did they explicitly tell you no, or did they just ignore you?
No, they just ignor me.
Have you been to this house before?
I have, yeah.
And for the same reason?
Yeah, to let her, to contact her. Because she's not reachable. She's not reachable in her office. She doesn't answer her cell phone. She says her assistant doesn't answer her email.
That committee is responsible for approving and being the outside independent source for approving these vaccines.
How did ACIP recently come to the decision to recommend COVID-19 shots for this latest group of young kids? And what kinds of things were you looking for in the data?
We got a call regarding you coming over here multiple times, and it seems like they don't want to talk to you.
Well, now it seems that way because she called the police on me.
You know, I think we need to recognize that COVID-19 is here to stay. That vaccines are make for a safer and more reliable way to develop immunity against infection.
No, but now it's very clear that she's actively avoiding the question of whether she wants to see the Israeli data that shows the vaccines are not safe. That's pretty serious.
Okay, well, it seems like she's not interested, so...
How in the world could anyone, especially the top person in the world responsible for safety, not want to see the safety data that shows that the vaccines are not safe? They don't want to be confronted with even the question, do you want to see the data? They want to have plausible deniability.
Was the Pfizer COVID vaccine tested on stopping the transmission of the virus before it entered the market?
Did we know about stopping immunization before it's entered the market? No.
See right there, how can they now say all the things they said and claimed safe and effective, that you're better, like that lady that he wanted to confront the data on? No wonder she called the police. It's a criminal organization. It's totally criminal. And yet so many of us are having a hard time weeding out the indoctrination we've received and all this blind trust, all this. I get it. It's not a world I want to be living in, but once again, putting our fingers in our ears and like, it doesn't change the reality at all. Full-blown adults. Yes, I understand their war tactics were so effective. It was very scary, all the things that they ramped up. And so many of us were deceived. But not acknowledging those tactics and the deceit they spewed and the fear they ramped up. I mean, they are fifth generation war tactics. The control on information, that's what spun off Rumble. Elon to take over Twitter and now rebrand it and liberate it in a huge way. Truth Social, all these other things. Now I get it. Not everyone loves Trump. I get it. Okay, well, but Truth Social has become more so a free speech platform. It's not even about left and right. It's about good and bad. It's about tyrannical platforms and free speech platforms. That's what it's about. And to this day, they're still on the tyrannical platforms. They won't allow this. We experienced it once again on this very live. and we're going to continue to push the envelope. Unfortunately, these tactics have we haven't been able to properly acknowledge the threats on our freedom. That's why I'm trying to pose the questions like, do we value freedom? Do we understand freedom? Well, then we should be able to acknowledge, what are we doing supporting tyrannical platforms, especially in this moment where there are other options that are not supporting tyranny? But I get it. There's a little sacrifice to get off those, especially as a content creator, and more so support the free speech. But it's to our benefit, not just on it. You get where I'm going with this? What I'm trying to expose? I get it's challenging in this moment, but golly, it's so crucial.
Pfizer vaccine not only stops people from getting sick, but also stops them from spreading the virus to other people.
One vaccine could curb virus transmission from just a single dose.
They're stopping people also from transmitting the disease.
No,
and the chances are very likely that you'll not be able to transmit it to other people.
They never.
Yes, it will protect you, but honestly,
lies.
It's not for you. It's so you don't kill other people. It's so you don't spread it to other people.
Wow.
114 million Americans, nearly half the adult population in this country, has had a vaccine shot already.
Do we need to play Pfizer's admission yet again? Because my rant kind of disconnected that before all the actual true propagandists, all these talking heads. Unbelievable.
114 million of us have had it. The number of people who have died from getting the shot is zero.
Lie.
About 14,000 Americans who have reported deaths.
Boom. Zero? This is on the VAERS report itself. By even strictly, this is how tyrannical YouTube is. I could literally just create a video, like, not go into depth on things, like just question, hey, have you all gone to VAERS report system and looked at the actual data itself as to the adverse effects and the deaths recording tally, and then plug or even pull this up? That itself will be taken down under misinformation. It's like, darn it, it's your own accounting system. That there's so many says it all moments, and this itself, not a zero not zero, and then look at why just on this alone would anyone listen to that talking head or that news organization, because they're not a news organization. They are now, by definition of words and as we understand them, a propagandist outlet. Barack Hussein Obama passed legislation that allowed these supposed news outlets to feed misinformation to us and disinformation to us. The very ones now that have spun off fighting misinformation, disinformation, they are the ones fulfilling it. Unbelievable, right?
Now, that's probably underreported by a factor of 100.
Wow.
So you take the 14,000 deaths that are reported in the VAERS system, you multiply it by 100, you get 1.4 million. But the deaths that happened 5 months later,
wow,
and that's the bulk of them, are not going to get reported in the VAERS system.
Wow. Oh, to watch these. We're visual. It's heartbreaking, but come on. Look at, oh my gosh, look. It's like a demon possession. What is happening? Where people are dying suddenly. What is
An
this?
elderly woman has died in what's believed to be South Australia's first case of fatal blood clotting caused by the AstraZeneca COVID vaccine.
It's a similar thing. What is happening? Oh, man.
Investigation is underway tonight over whether a local man suffered blood clots as a result of getting the Pfizer vaccine.
Oh, breaks my heart. Oh. Our top athletes, thousands of our top athletes, thousands of
two teachers
content creators
who were at Solms Elementary School for more than 20 years and passed away suddenly this school year.
pilots, doctors. What is going on? Oh my gosh.
Therapeutic Goods Administration is calling for calm following the deaths of 2 people in our state who received the COVID vaccine.
How can people say we're not at war? Evil is here. It's alive. It's
Woodgrove High School student athlete Colette Bain passed away unexpectedly after a medical emergency.
It's waging war on innocence, health, everything. Oh my gosh. Holy, imagine, look at multiple bus drivers and multiple pilots. We're the public. We could be on these things. It could lead to, and it has led to other tragic death. Oh. The health screening on our pilots is actually, they've moved the needle in the wrong direction and haven't been as strict on their prior regiments. Unbelievable.
A 20-year-old nursing student died of cardiac arrest 1 day after getting the mandatory.
The 16-year-old had a cardiac arrhythmia.
High school cheerleader who died suddenly.
Conclusions over the death of a woman from blood clots after receiving the COVID
Queensland man is in
vaccine.
intensive care tonight, suffering a blood clot after receiving his AstraZeneca vaccine.
Can I do a positive inner whatever disturbance? Luckily, Masterpiece, the product I swear by, helps eradicate the toxins, the metals, forever chemicals, things of that nature. It's helping detox these poisons out of the body. Ivermectin is now becoming proven to help with the spike proteins and negative things, not just in the shot, but with the shedding of the shot, helping. Nicotine. Now there's studies, and it's interesting because if you listen to Dr. Why is his name slipping my mind? I apologize. But we'll plug him here in the future. Sorry, I'll make a note so I can bring this to you futuristically. Oh, his name's slipping in and out of my mind. He's brought information forward on nicotine not being a chemical, that it's actually a natural ingredient. It's actually more so a nutrient than a chemical. It's the smoking and all these things. Yes, there's nicotine and the tobacco products naturally, but it's all these other chemicals that get tied into cancers. So there's vast, I'm not advocating, it's like do your own research, but it is a natural substance in the tobacco leaf, right? So it is more so a nutrient, not a chemical, right? Just based on that. It's not a chemical. Nicotine exists, and it's one of the main ingredients in potatoes. But it's been diminished with all the GMO, genetically modified, engineered, all the bioengineering, and it's addressing venom, like helps with snake venom, helps with like detoxing in a way. Anyway, so there's a lot of information, but there's other breakthroughs that are coming through. So what is it? Oh, I don't want to know if anything harmful came in my body from that injection. Well, knowing could lead to a path of, okay, finding the information, trying these natural remedies, and you could lead not to just blessing your own life or potentially saving your own life, but your testimony and you sharing this could lead to the breakthroughs and stats and facts we need for other people to start onboarding these things that could bless and save multiple lives. So not be disheartened. It's just facing the reality. It's just like making a poor decision or in any other regard in life, like, we're not going to learn from that. We're not going to seek this information because we were deceived, we were duped, we were manipulated. They indoctrinated, they mandated to keep your job or to travel or to do all these through tyranny. I'm not casting stones at anyone. I mean, it's all about finding the path that's going to breathe light and health into our lives. And man, it's painful to see all this suffering and pain and death, but it's how else are we going to properly acknowledge the truth?
A local man suffered blood clots as a result
due to a blockage in an artery.
With medical experts confirming the death of a central...
It's like he's fighting off a freaking demon. This is crazy.
...host woman is likely linked to the jab.
Oh. Unbelievable.
I said, we're just going to have to get used to this. And he says, the shots. And I said, yeah, we're just going to have to get used to this. This is the way it is.
No.
If people keep doing this, then this is going to keep happening.
The vaccine can kill you two different ways. It can kill you in the short term. Now, there's a longer term effect, and this takes 5 months to kill you. And this is when your veins are basically clogged up with this protein material, this amyloid protein material that's not blood clots. Now, the timing of when the embalmers first started seeing these blood clots, mid-2021.
So many miles on my car, you know, it seems like half of my time is driving from one funeral home to another. The busiest I ever was, to be honest, was January of 2021. Now, I didn't even think about it being related to the vaccine at all at the time. Looking back, I say, no wonder they died of a heart attack or a stroke or some kind of a pulmonary embolism, because you can't live with this stuff in you.
Right.
Probably do about 160 funerals a year. So I've been waiting for a young person that died suddenly, who'd also had a post-mortem, and then the family had asked me to embalm. So there are 3 planets that needed to align. And this poor guy of 30, he was full of it. It was hanging out of him like spaghetti. This one here came out of the aorta from the heart. They take the shape of the vessels that they're growing in, totally, and they gradually fill the vessels as they grow. And these, obviously, that's what's killed him.
Hey, I just want to let you know I'm pulling into the funeral home here, and I've got some guys that are with me. Are you fine with me bringing them in?
Wow. What a gift.
This is the iliac artery.
I know it's graphic, but my gosh.
And the clot coming out of the iliac.
We need to know what's causing this.
Normally we don't see clots in the iliac, in an artery. Usually they're in veins.
Wow.
And I'm probably not going to be able to get it all.
It's so wild.
This is not normal.
Wow. How can one live with that in their body? You can't.
The big one came out of the vein.
Wow.
The small one came out of the iliac artery itself.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
As the months passed by, the clots became worse, and each person, the quantity of them was much larger, and they were getting larger.
Wow.
We were doing an injection and drainage into the common carotid artery. And we were getting fluid in, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. We could not get any more fluid. We were not getting any drainage of any type.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, watch out. It's going to spurt. That's a monster. Holy Jesus.
Wow.
Come on.
Oh my!
I believe the only way that a medical doctor could see this in the body is if they actually went internally into the body.
So this is coming out of a beating heart.
This is crazy.
Look at this. Tell me if it looks the same way.
Wow.
It's so good for you to come in today. It's good to see you.
Thank you, Doc.
So I'm excited to get this.
Guys, they just added 20 new shots to the childhood vaccine schedule, 3 of which are mRNA within the first 6 months of a newborn. We can't even fathom as to how they're changing all this around and the implications and impacts they're going to have. There's so much other information. It's so crucial. Watch the Vaxxed 1, Vaxxed 2, Vaxxed 3. It's not too far back, right here on Unmuzzled Chat. The links are provided. You could rule me out. Just go directly to the source. Watch those documentary. Vaxxed 2 is so powerful. So powerful. They aren't, like, even my own mother, bless her heart, is acknowledging and sharing within the siblings within our family unit that, guys, it's no longer what it used to be. I like the example my own father even brought up because we're such visual creatures, that Mickey D's is not what it used to be. When he was growing up, you buy a burger, it sits out for a few days, it starts going rancid. The buns get moldy. Now you can buy that sandwich, put it on a shelf for 5 years. 5 years, and it looks like the day you bought it. So it's not what it used to be. And we're not even really acknowledging that or asking ourselves what changed. The childhood vaccine schedule is not what it used to be. And when you look at all the introductions of all these things, it parallels what's taking place with autism. It parallels diabetes. It parallels the ramping up of all these other illnesses and diseases. And they admit that they're not, it's all manipulated data. They're making very, very bold claims as to this is going to protect your child, and pediatrics and the doctors, and they're educating and selling all the indoctrination they've been spoon-fed and they're incentivized on doing. Heck, if they go against it, their own license gets threatened. It's so tyrannical. Evil has infiltrated clearly our health services. Western medicine as we know it. It's so clear. I don't want to be an anti-vaxxer. Are you kidding me? But you look at the communities such as Amish communities and things like that aren't subjecting themselves to this. Autism's non-existent. All these other things are non-existent. Yes, they have a different lifestyle and this and that, but if you watch Vax 2 and the parents themselves and their testimonies from a child that's fully vaccinated to their second child that ends up half vaccinated and the third not at all, you can hear those testimonies for yourself. They're like, this one hit more milestones quicker and more profoundly than the fully vaccinated. The unvaccinated, it's just a whole other child, healthy, never gets sick, never goes into the doctor, doesn't get ear infections. It's so clear. Let's not deny ourselves this opportunity with information in these free speech platforms. And let's not be scared to share this information in more enlightening, beautiful ways. Like, hey, I love you. You obviously love your children. I'd love your input. and share the facts too. If you feel they'll sit through this, share this. It's difficult. Maybe it will be through other means, right? If this is too sensitive of a topic, we're to try to walk in the Spirit and more so act upon the inspiration we're receiving than using evil's tactics and just trying to jam it down someone's throat, which I'm guilty, been there, done that, trying to come about it in a more, I don't know, holistic / effective way or loving way, right? It's difficult.
Thermal imaging scan, but before we do that, I want to learn a little bit more about your medical history. Tell me, when this all started, these symptoms that you had.
Early August of this year, my legs started swelling. I was getting a lot of pain from the crotch area all the way down to the ankle.
Look at that inflammation.
They did a Doppler on it, and I had several clots in my leg.
Oh, wow.
So I was transported to the hospital, and they confirmed that, and also that I had a clot in my lungs.
So you went into the hospital, they put you on a blood thinner, presumably?
Yes, I got put on Eliquis when I was being released. And come to find out, the Eliquis did not work for me.
Okay. And did they let you know that that is extremely rare?
Every doctor I saw said it was extremely rare.
Which side did you get the shot in? Which arm?
I think it was both.
Do you think it could have been the left for both of them? Because you got two, right?
Yeah, it could have been the left.
Because the left arm definitely looked it had a much higher thermal signal than the right. Yeah, so we can see the left side of his face has a much stronger thermal image, and then the white is also extremely hot. And this is in the area of the pre- and post-auricular lymphadenopathy chain. And then the tonsillar is also very well lit up, submandibular, submental.
The left side was the one where he has confirmed clots. The right side here is showing significant issues with the vascular system.
So I would recommend referring for an ultrasound of the lower extremities bilaterally to rule out any kind of new clotting or venous obstructions.
Hello.
Hi, Michelle. This is Nick and Matthew. How are you?
I'm good. So before the vaccines came out, there were 1 to 2 fetal demises every 2 or 3 months. You would see one.
By the way, Dr. Artis, it just popped into my brain. I apologize. Dr. Artis is the one coming out with so much information regarding nicotine being a nutrient, not a chemical as it's advertised. But the forms of nicotine that we know of are like cigarettes, right? Don't pick up smoking, right? Because there's all these additive chemicals that is the chemicals that are linked to the cancer. I mean, are potatoes with natural nicotine the nutrient being the number one ingredient leading to cancers? No, but cigarettes, okay. So anyway, Dr. Artis has a beautiful way scientifically, all the research that they're doing, and it's a great blessing. Dr. Artis, okay. Wow.
I finally had enough when I got this email the other day. It said that there was a record number of fetal demises and that there were 22 of them in 1 month. And in this email, it says that it's projected to increase each month.
And it has.
The fetal demise in mothers, gestational mothers, in that 22 to 26 week period. I had a run of that in my funeral home. And 5 of the 6 were vaccinated. The other had remdesivir, and they all lost their infants.
We're just seeing a fridge full of babies, but we're not actually doing the funeral. So that's a mystery to me as to where these babies are going.
So are you saying there's more fetuses in the refrigerators now than there was prior to 2021?
Yeah, I'm saying there's more fetuses now in the refrigerator than I've seen ever before.
Wow.
I've been doing high-risk obstetrics for 43 years. I see a vast number of patients a year.
43 years.
I don't know of any other maternal fetal medicine physician in this country that sees as many patients as I do by ultrasound. At one point in time this year, I was on track to see 9,000 high-risk OB ultrasounds. So I know what's going on, and I've seen death and destruction like I've never seen before. The stillbirth rate is measured in terms of live births per 1,000. And really, it's come down in my career from about 10 to about almost 5.8 or 6. Now, let's go to 2021 and look at the stillbirth rate for Michelle's. This is horrifying. But if you take this death figure and you look at that rate at 29.3.
Wow.
That sigma that you're looking at is 40 plus sigma, standard deviation. Let that sink in.
Wow.
This is from Waterloo, Canada. 83 stillbirths, about 4,000 deliveries. That exact same thing you saw with Michelle's. If that weren't bad enough, look at this. I couldn't even put it. There were 13 dead fetuses in one 24-hour period. One 24-hour period. 1,200-fold increases in menstrual abnormalities. And then when we get into pregnancy, we're looking at a substantial increase in miscarriages, in birth defects, a substantial risk of fetal cardiac arrhythmia, fetal cardiac malformations, significant fetal growth slowing, significant reduction in amniotic fluid, fetal cardiac arrest.
Are you saying babies are having heart attacks in the womb?
Yes.
Wow. You know what? Let's actually on full screen, because let's just reflect back on Bill Gates' TED Talk. If we do a really good job through health services and vaccinations, we can lower the world population by 10 or 15%. Let's consider this right here. Why do we never believe them? And for centuries, the global elite have broadcasted their intentions to depopulate the world, even to the point of carving them into stone. Once again, the Georgia Guidestones. And yet, we never seem to believe them. Bill Gates, all these individuals, the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, Yuval Harari, George Soros, unbelievable evil. It's not just impacting the ones that are here. It's impacting fertility entirely. And for the first time in American history, our nation's population would be decreasing if it wasn't for the invasion at our borders. First time in American history. Yes, I get there's a level of, people just aren't producing as much. The marriage rate, it's bumped to older. So it's been this kind of naturally leading to those statistics to itself, but the rates peaking among this time, it's undeniable, the impact it's having there as well. So the actual individuals trying to have children, I see it in my own life around me, infertility, and it's a horrific stats to really dive into.
The vaccine causes a significant inflammatory effect.
3 different safety monitoring systems. Again, they found no significant safety signals for the mother or for the fetus, because we have to remember in obstetrics, we're dealing with 2 patients. So no increased risks to be vaccinated while pregnant.
There's the liars.
Anything that causes inflammation in my business, in my area of expertise, causes damage, injury, death, and destruction in pregnancy.
Wow. Look at this increase That's on VAERS.com. What?
We've known that for half a century.
On March 1st, the FDA released the first round of thousands of pages of data submitted by Pfizer for review of their COVID-19 vaccine.
It's the 5.3.6 post-marketing analysis of the adverse events, in which they outlined that 83% of all pregnant women who got vaccinated ended up with a dead baby. They had 270 pregnancies. They could not account for what happened to 238 of those pregnancies. In the remaining pregnancies resulted in a dead baby. And they only had one normal outcome.
And originally the documents were going to take 55 years to be released, but because of a court order, we'll get all of the documents by year's end.
Did you hear that? Unbelievable. What are they hiding? What?
Thank you for the floor, Mr. President. Honorable National Assembly, in January this year, something happened that has not happened for decades. The birth rate fell by 20% compared to the same period last year. Chobo Getot, a researcher at the KRTK Institute of Economics, points out that this drastic decline came just 9 months after the COVID mass vaccinations began in Hungary.
Now, I will say, a friend of mine, she just told me this the other day, her mother had volunteered at the hospital prior to COVID. So they called her and said, hey, would you come back in and volunteer? And she volunteered obstetrics, right, babies. So she said, yeah, all right. So they retrained her, and then they called her back and said, I guess there's no point in you coming in. We're not having any babies born.
I never pass up an opportunity when I see a newborn baby. I stop and I drink it in. Because my heart aches to think that seeing a newborn baby may become one of the rarest things. And I want to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
Wow.
But so many people
70%
have taken this. There's nothing as close to seeing the face of God as seeing a newborn. And you have just evil that is destroying that. And my heart hurts for God. Like, you could give people all of this.
Wow.
And they would use their time, energy, and talents to try and destroy it.
What the last 2 years has taught me that there is a pure evil in this world. A pure evil that has no respect for any of us, where I can tell you we are regarded in much the same way as livestock.
Yes. We were trained that the one thing that prevented adversaries from deploying bioweapons was that in order for them to have a strategic impact, our enemy would have to have a delivery mechanism that would allow them to expose a large enough population of people in a short enough period of time before the people knew they were being attacked. Dispersion in the air would be cumbersome and ineffective given UV light, dispersion, wind patterns, and that there are generally not significantly large enough numbers of people outside concentrated in a small area. Likewise, attempting to put them in water would have limited effectiveness because of dilution, degradation from chloride, etc. But what if? What if hundreds of millions of people would willingly or under the duress of fear allow themselves to be injected with a bioweapon? What if global mass vaccination could be accomplished in a short period of time by applying relentless coercion tactics and psychological operations to demoralize people into submission?
Wow.
It's my professional medical opinion that this is a bioweapon and that this was a bioweapon unleashed against humanity.
Yes.
With the intent to depopulate and control the population of the world.
But basically, it's achieving its goal. If the goal was to reduce the world's population, it's working.
This has been well planned. This is Agenda 2030. This is the Great Reset. this is what it's all about, you know. So one of the hardest things, knowing what I know, was accepting that people are going to die because they're just not going to believe it.
We have to be the plan. And that means that each person in this room, viewing this broadcast, replaying this broadcast, each one of you has a purpose.
We got this.
Each one of you has a critical, God-given role. And so if you are quiet or apathetic or complacent, you have to stand before God and you have to answer for that.
It's tough. It's not how I really want to go about. But we all have responsibility in this life. We do. That's why, for me, to stop the projection and more so walk in that path of faith, I do believe we can lovingly reach out, and it's going to be more receptive with this information. But I'm grateful for men like that to also put it in that way, because I'm at a place, it's resonating with me, but I also could see how that could be very off-putting.
I can put out a warning to all the people that are in the military right now, officers who are responsible for everything that happens or fails to happen with their troops. If you don't stand in the gap, you're complicit in this crime.
Yes.
The only way we're going to save our lives is by clubbing together to do it. That's our strength. And this is probably the most biblical world event that anyone could ever imagine. It's World War III. This is a spiritual war of good against evil. And I just hope that there's enough good in the world that we can rally together to defeat it, because if we don't, these monsters will destroy humanity.
And it's okay. If we don't, it's important we do our part. We were all put in this blessed era for a reason. And I'm at peace with whatever comes. But in no way, shape, or form does that diminish the path God has put me on here. It truly is a selfless journey. I hope I'm coming across in that regard more so as of late. I know it really wasn't kind of the more radicalized, crazy, I guess it's through seeking relation with God that we often, and I walk too long in this existence to my own detriment, not seeking because so many of us mortals and Christians and project it in such a way it becomes more damning than good. But that is the only relation we can fully, securely latch onto that will not let us down and will bring light, peace, joy, happiness, security in the most challenging moments. And at the end of the day, it is in his hands, ultimately. But he's giving us the agency to let play out. He promised us with the rainbow and such that he will not come down and flood the earth again, right? That he's going to allow us to reap our reward, whatever, or, it's just crazy. I'm a baby Christian. I don't have it all figured out, but luckily he's just gifted. It's not pedestaling. He's just gifted this peace as we sought this out. So it's nothing but it's just lighting the fire that much more. I love you guys. I truly do. And that's why we're going through this information, because ignorance isn't blissful. And we do have opportunities even now to protect ourselves, unify our families, all these things through challenging ourselves in these topics. Once it starts a bad chain reaction, let's acknowledge that. Let's snip it out. That the topic of discussion is no longer important. Let's get back to unifying as a family and whatnot, and try to create a new positive chain reaction and realize to ourselves, well, shoot, that might just be a little too touchy right here and now. Unless I feel inspired through a snippet, or it could be another whole angle of conversation that could lead to an opening of connection, and they absorb that leads them, you just never know, right? That could lead them to seek on their own accord what we were trying to address, head on here, right? We can't impede on people's agency. And I'm guilty. It's a great challenge. The art of communication. Holy smokes. Are we, any of us, going to master that entirely? I don't believe so.
Dance, baby, dance like the world is ending. Dance, baby, dance like the world is ending. Dance, baby, dance, 'cause the world is ending. Dance, baby, dance like the world is ending. Dance, baby, dance like the world is ending. Dance, baby, dance, 'cause the world is ending.
Get vaccinated. It's incredibly effective, but the truth is, not enough people are getting it. We've got to change that, so we can all have a safe and healthy holiday season.
Oh gosh.
I'm here if you have the Pfizer vaccine. I'm here for Moderna.
Wow.
AstraZeneca.
Such a crazy world, isn't it? We're gonna let this play out. I want to applaud Stu Peters.
The people who are not getting vaccines, who are believing the lies on the internet instead of science, it's time to start shaming them.
If you refuse to be vaccinated, you shouldn't get the same rights as people who've been vaccinated.
Unbelievable. Whew. Those tactics were too
You're
effective.
willing to walk among us unvaccinated, you are an enemy.
Wow. Huh. I don't know how many more
That choice
clips.
doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
Evil. Pure evil. Oof. I wouldn't say that to anyone.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live.
Wow. Disgusting.
Vaccine, 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 vaccine. I'm begging of you, please don't hesitate. Vaccine, 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 vaccine. 'Cause once you're dead, then that's a bit too late.
Holy moly. Should we do any recaps on boom, YouTube, censorship, strike, boom? Oh, is this what's playing out? Is this why folks do not want all right, is this why folks do not want oh geez, I did not write this good. Oh my gosh. And I'm embarrassing myself on no, there's no embarrassing. Are you kidding? We're to fall flat on our face. But is this why they seem not to care about censorship and the infringement on our freedoms? Is this what's playing out? Answers: simple but wrong, complex but right. Just herd mentality that's leading us right off the edge of a cliff versus maybe a beautiful view with a sunset and flourishing. I mean, there's another one here that illustrates comforting lies. Everyone line up. Unpleasant truths. Is that what it is? The fingers in the ears. But this is what's happening. 3 different edits for this young girl and her mother, and for all of us. An outcome. Why is this being controlled and censored? It's leading to the lies perpetuating, and it's not coming to terms. So that, if we could at least get people on these free speech platforms and rule out the censorship, wow, what blessings could come. Guys, I am so grateful for you being here, sticking this out. I applaud Stu Peters, all the men and women that came forward, even the ones that weren't willing to show their face. I applaud them all. I know their heart's in the right place. It can be difficult to address these things, man. I tell you, why is that? Doesn't that just show how effective the programming has been in all of us? We're missing out on so much opportunity, I swear. But you're a warrior. I appreciate you. Thank you for following us, for sharing this information. I get it. If this episode just... you'll share other content. I appreciate you. We're facing algorithms, yes, even on the free speech platforms. At least we're able to speak and have the opportunity for organic growth. It's just not... It'd be nice to see it blow up to where we could have an opportunity to share this information with more. Wouldn't it lead to saving more lives and getting to the roots of the issues and all the things we need? I believe so. So we're going to keep on trucking. I don't know if I got to sell a kitchen sink yet. It's kind of getting to that point. We'll see. If you feel impressed to help me continue on this path, check out the links below. We got a Venmo, a Cash App, the GoFundMe, a Buy Me a Coffee link. I don't know if it's still active. It just isn't being used. We'd appreciate any support. You could magnify our efforts. Shoot, if we end up in a place of abundance, it would be great to up even the advertising on the platforms we'd be able to. Just don't have the funds to do any of that. It'd be a great blessing. If it's not this, then shoot, go support Stu. Go support any of these individuals coming up with solutions. If it's not directly through us, we're trying to align on affiliations to benefit you, benefit the companies, because I've tried to affiliate and align with companies that solely are on the front lines on our behalf on doing good things with the financial blessing of the products they're providing. So it's just a win-win-win-win all around. And you're getting discounts. We're going to have challenging days ahead. So American Reserves and the 10% discount, grateful. EMP Shield and the $50 off every single product, unbelievable. So grateful. That singularly is the number one most important preparation I believe we all could do in this challenging time. The Unchained Wellness Clinic, the Pure Benefits, Aesthetics and Wellness, help breathe light and resilience and health back into our lives. So grateful. Grateful for the OG Black Eagle apparel so we can start representing and be a walking billboard either for Jesus or patriotically and kind of boldly face our oppressors as a billboard. Come on, let's go. So grateful. There's nothing but blessing. And that becomes gifted through none other than our Savior Jesus, man. I'm seeking to know him, not be educated on him. And it's just breathing light and joy and all this challenge. And it's kind of building out a challenge accepted mentality. We're not to be demoralized. That's evil. And I've walked in it. So I apologize yet again. Jesus is calling. Let's answer. December 10th. Oh, this could help set us on a good path. Make me the focal point. Jesus, speaking of Jesus, of your search for security in your private thoughts. You are still trying to order your world so that it is predictable and feels safe. Not only is this an impossible goal, but it is also counterproductive to spiritual growth. When your private world feels unsteady and you grip my hand for support, you are living in conscious dependence on me. Instead of yearning for a problem-free life, rejoice in that trouble can highlight your awareness of my presence. Yeah. In the darkness of adversity, you are able to see more clearly the radiance of my face. Accept the value of problems in this life. This is the breakthroughs I didn't achieve. There's no accolades to be had. It's gifted. It's not even earned. It's just gifted freely. Considering them pure joy. Remember that you have an eternity of trouble-free living awaiting you in heaven. This is just a moment, folks. We're all visiting. 10 out of 10 of us ain't gonna make it. We're visiting. What a humbling, profound. Now it's just like, whoa, my priorities have been out of whack. I'm going to check myself. Man, it's awesome to check ourselves. And especially in our communications, kind of reflect a bit on like yesterday's episode. It's like, we're not taught or challenged ourselves at a young age to check ourselves in the communications we're even having with loved ones and consider the other individual in a moment. We're so wrapped up in our intent and me, I, and what I know, that we're not checking ourselves and being like, what impact is this having on you? Okay. Oh, it doesn't feel good. Okay, let's end it right there. I didn't mean to do that. We're not taught these things. It's crazy. And that's what's leading to a lot of discord, I feel, in our relations, in our marriages, in a parental position. It just is gifted in this. I don't know how else to say it. You can become what would you call it? Psychology master in the art of communication, all these things, and barely move the needle in this limited life. But you end up secure with Jesus. And that's the only real security we could obtain. Then we're actually walking in it. We don't have to cram things down others' throats. It's interesting. Baby Christian over here. You probably have all figured this out already. I'm sorry, but, just kind of on the live, just expressing the little minute breakthroughs happening in this mortal existence on my end. What other ways do we have more pure ways in connecting with one another than in this format? So if in fact you feel, let's say you want to challenge yourself and come on, like, we would love to have your testimony, your breakthroughs. You are the only you that ever was, ever will be, and you got a unique set of gifts more than likely I don't have, and you could bless many lives. I mean, we don't got the biggest following yet. We'll see what happens with your help. Come on, we got this. But I welcome you on the podcast. Share what you know, share your testimony, share your challenges, share your successes, whatever could benefit one another. I'm open to it. Unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. I await your email. Or just hit me up on any of the socials. In fact, come join us on X, Facebook. All the links are down below. I don't have much of a presence on Instagram, by the way, but I post reels and clips from these episodes just kind of daily on them all. Love to see you over there. There's 3 biblical references. I challenge you to check them out, and they should be comforting. And it's the path that's led to the greatest breakthrough in my life. Diving into all this and seeking personal relation over any religion. How is it evil hasn't infiltrated our churches? It kind of has. One degree or another. It has. We're all imperfect. So personal relation over religion. For me, forever. I don't know. How am I doing? Is it not good? Are the fruits tainted? Probably, because I'm a freaking human. You don't idol me. Are you kidding me? No. It'd be a great mistake. Direct relation. So we got Isaiah 41:10, Psalm 139:10, and James 1:2. I'm so grateful for today. I'm grateful for every day we're given. This is what it's about. I know it. This is what it's all about, folks. Seek him. He'll answer. Our loving creator God, not the lesser. Why are we settling for lesser gods? Let's go for the ultimate, the creator, the loving creator of it all. May he bless you this wonderful evening, and I look forward until next time. Y'all take care.